Hello there everyone, welcome back to the channel. Its-A-Mii here, and today we're trying something a little different. As you can see here, we have both copies of Fantasy Life I on Nintendo Switch and PS5. I thought we would do a little unboxing of the game, do some handheld gameplay on Nintendo Switch. I want to start doing more stuff like this on the channel. I have this nice top-down setup, so I figured why not. I hadn't seen any unboxings of this game on YouTube, but I imported it from Video Games Plus, and they shipped it pretty quickly. Shout out to them. This is a game I've been excited to play for a while. It was announced over 2 years ago now, had some delays, and I was a little worried about it. I don't know, the messaging, the marketing, it felt a little off, but it came out last week digitally, and everything I've heard from people in my Discord server, but also just on social media in general, other YouTubers, apparently this game is really, really good. So I'm excited to finally have my physical copies here. I was originally only going to get it on Switch. However, I realized it's cross-play and that this would be a great game to play with Olivia. So she's going to be playing the Switch version. I'll be playing it on PS5, which is why I decided to end up picking up both, and we can kind of do some comparisons there. Also, just for a little show and tell, I brought out my 3DS copy of the original. We had the entire Fantasy Life series here from 3DS to Switch and PS5. I never actually got into this 3DS one. This is one of those games that people have been recommending to me for years when I was making a ton of 3DS videos. I played a little bit and I enjoyed what I played of it, but I kind of just missed it. It's one of those games that I feel like you really want to be playing in the moment when the hype's there, the servers are really active, that kind of thing, when so many people are on it. And I just kind of missed that. It wasn't going to be the same playing Fantasy Life on 3DS in 2022 versus, when it came out in 2014. But without further ado, we have the physicals here. Start off with the Nintendo Switch version, as you can see here. So like I said, I imported this from Japan. However, it does have English on the cartridge, even though the spine and everything and the cover art is in Japanese. Absolutely no idea what that sticker says, but that'll be going away soon anyway when I take this out. Here we have the spine with the level 5 logo and the Zero A rating. And here is the back of the box, showing off the different lives that you can live and all of the different aspects of this game. And same thing for the PS5 version. Here's the front. You have the PlayStation branded sticker, or I guess plastic wrap on there. Here is the spine, as well as the back of the box. Actually a little different. Not really. I don't know why I said that. They're like the exact same. Start off with the Nintendo Switch copy here, then go over to the PlayStation one. Let's see if I can just kind of do this with my finger. No, I gotta get something sharp. I have a USB cord that is like off screen perfectly here. There it goes. Okay. There it is. Okay, we got the plastic. We got it. We're doing it. Get this bad boy open. So excited to play this. This will be a perfect time killer until the Switch 2 comes out in just a little over a week now. And they also announced that Switch 2 version. I don't know if it's clear yet if you'll be able to upgrade to the Switch 2 version digitally if you buy this physically, especially since this is a Japanese game. That'll be on my North American account. So we'll see how that goes. Ideally, I'll end up upgrading this to the Switch 2 version. It's like a $2 upgrade or whatever. But here we have it on Switch unboxed. Here's the inside. Wow. Come on, level 5. Come on, you got to do better than that. No inside art. There is a little pamphlet here advertising. It looks like just the website, if I had to guess. But there we have 2 pamphlets here. We have one that is a little code. I got to make sure I use that before you all see this, because I want to make sure I get those in-game items. And they also have another side to them. And then here we have the actual game cartridge itself. I'll try to make sure I don't... Oh, God. look how small it is. The camera's freaking out. There it is, kind of. There is the Nintendo Switch cartridge for Fantasy Life I, the girl who steals time. Okay, so there is the Nintendo Switch version. Let's check out this PS5 copy here. I'm expecting a very similar experience of just a little pamphlet and all that, but that's the thing with modern games, man. You don't get the fancy booklets. I say modern games as if this is a new thing. I mean, this is how it's been for 2 decades, or I guess a decade and a half. Really, I guess starting with PS4, but even late 360, PS3, it was going away. Oh, I just ripped the little sticker there. Okay, here we go. I actually didn't realize there was crossplay. That's why at first I was going to get just one copy and just play it by myself. But then I was like, oh, crossplay, I'll get them both. A little bit of an excuse for myself to buy it twice. Here we have the PS5 game here unboxed or unsealed. Here we have that disc. Get some nicer art here, and the pamphlet is actually quite a bit bigger, as you would expect. So here is the disc for the PS5 version, as well as the pamphlets here. I will not flip these over because I want to make sure I use the codes. But yeah, you got the 2 pamphlets in Japanese. Currently, this game is absolutely blowing up. I think they already announced it sold over 500,000 copies, which is more than I was expecting for a game like this. Especially just like I said, the marketing was weird for it. I feel like no one was talking about it from the time it was revealed to when it was getting ready to come out. But then as soon as it came out, kind of just blew up, got really good reviews, even despite all of the troubles that the studio had, right? Keiji Inafune and Concept, there was a whole debacle there. He left. They lost directors. They had to shut them down. But regardless, the game made it across the finish line, and it is a huge success. And now we have the Switch 2 version releasing on June 5th. But real quick, I want to see what happens when we pop this bad boy in to our Nintendo Switch. Will there be a day one update? Doesn't really matter because, you know, this is an online game. I'm going to be playing it online. But ideally, you know, there still won't be an update. I'm sure they'll patch it later on. Let's see here. Fantasy Life, there's your icon. And there is an update. Let's see how big this update is for this game. 4 hours. There's no way the update's that big. 2 hours. Okay, I have good internet. Okay, it's going down dramatically. I was like, what the heck? There's no way. There's no way this update is that big for Fantasy Life. I mean, still 42 minutes though. That's a pretty meaty one. I mean, like I said, I have really good internet. Obviously, this is wireless, so it's not going to be quite as fast. But yeah. 34 minutes remaining. And I'll check after I get done recording this segment, but I'll see if the PS5 version also requires an update. I imagine it does, if the Switch version does, but still, I'll include that here so you know whether or not there is an update for this one. But like I said, I mean, it's an online game. You're going to be updating it. You're going to be playing it online with friends. Presumably, maybe you're just going to play it as a single-player experience. But this is a game that's going to be updated for a while, I imagine. So having an update on day one or, you know, day 3 or whatever this is, isn't that surprising? Okay, now let's go ahead and check out some handheld gameplay of this game running on a Nintendo Switch OLED. I have played about an hour of the game. Most of that was on PS5. If you're watching this video and you're interested in this game and you're thinking of picking up a copy on Steam or something and then also on PlayStation or Switch and Steam, that kind of thing, be warned of the cross-save situation. It took me a while to figure out what the issue was, but I was trying for my life to get cross-save to work on this dang game, and it just wasn't. It goes through the Epic Games accounts, which I guess is better than Level 5 having their own arbitrary account system. At least Epic is something that a lot of people already have. However, it just was not syncing from PS5 over to Switch. The issue, the fix, if you are having an issue trying to get the cross-save working, make sure that you have the correct date and time put in on your Nintendo Switch. For some reason, I don't know if it's from when I was doing Animal Crossing time traveling, you know, 5 years ago or what, my Switch was a couple of days off the actual mark, and that for some reason makes it so you can't do cross save. So make sure your Switch date and time is set properly. That way you can actually do the cross save and link it through your Epic Games account that way. And ever since then, it's been seamless, right? It uploads when you save. There's a little check box. You can just mark it to automatically upload to the cloud. And then when you go to the other platform, you can download it there. So once it works, it is pretty seamless. I just had some issues getting that runny. Early impressions of the game though. So on PS5, it runs beautifully. I mean, it's really quite a nice looking game. It is like playing a first party Nintendo game almost on a PlayStation, which is interesting. Runs really well, looks really nice. The Switch version runs a lot worse. As expected, we saw a little bit of that before the game came out in the trailers. However, for what it is, I mean, you know, with the Switch 1 at this point, you're going to expect a lot of frame rate issues, right? However, from the little bit I played on Switch, which was really only like 20-25 minutes, just running around, it's almost a little nauseating. Now, to be fair, I was playing it while looking through my OBS from the camera down to the handheld, so that probably played a major role in that, so don't take that to heart too much, but I have seen other people complaining about the Switch 1's performance for this game. So I would say if you have other options, Switch 1 should likely be your last resort for this game, and then from there, you know, Switch 2 should hopefully run pretty well, more on par with the PS5 version. Steam, I haven't seen anybody really reporting issues with the Steam version or the Xbox versions. So Switch 1, I mean, it makes sense. It's the least powerful hardware that the game is available on. It is going to have a little bit more performance issues, but thoughts on the game so far, only an hour in. It's a really long tutorial. It's basically just an hour-long tutorial, but I can see the vision. I can see what the game's going to go for here with all the different lives and the different jobs. I think I'm going to really like this. We'll see how much time I have to put into it with the Switch 2 coming up, but like I said, this is like a perfect time killer until then, and with cross-save, being able to swap between the PS5 version and the Switch, with the Switch 2 upgrade coming out, this is something I'm very excited to, you know, dive into and put a lot of time into. I'm not sure what's the meta here. Like, I picked a magician for my character. Maybe if you're watching this, if you're already into the game, should I be playing as multiple jobs at the same time, kind of keeping them in a line with each other? I guess it really is just up to preference, but there's a lot of different job types, like you would see in an MMO or something. So there was one that's like an angler where you're a fisherman. I think there was one where you're a miner, so you're going to the mines and getting ore, that kind of thing. So maybe it would be better to balance my gameplay between all of the different lives, or maybe not all of them, but, you know, a good variety. The magician's fun. It's like this ranged build. I might do a more of like a melee. I think it's just like the warrior class there as well. But I see the vision. I'm excited to put more time into it. Let me know if you've been playing it in the comments down below. What do you think of the game so far? Definitely going to be putting most of my time in that PS5 version. We'll check out the Switch 2 version when it comes out. And then, yeah, Switch 1. It's good that it exists. It's good that it is there, but it does run considerably worse than the PS5 version, as expected. But that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching this unboxing and a handheld gameplay video for Fantasy Life I, The Girl Who Steals Time on a Switch, as well as PS5. I'm going to be doing more of these videos if you want to see it, so stay tuned for that. I would like to do this for basically every Switch 2 game. This video was more of a test, if anything, to be honest with you, just to kind of set up and see how this will go in the future. But if you want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe. Of course, I do post a lot of Nintendo and PlayStation collecting content, so stay tuned for all of that. You can follow me on Twitter at BoTalksGames. Check out my other Nintendo news channel at BoTalksGames as well, and you can click on one of the 2 videos on screen to listen to me ramble about even more Nintendo collecting nonsense. Until next time, folks. Peace.